Thank you so much, firstly, for being with us for this panel. We're calling this It Takes an Ecosystem because no one wins alone. I'm sure you're all aware of the famous African proverb, which goes, it takes, brother, if you want to go fast, you should go alone. But if you want to go far, you should go together. I think as an ecosystem, we've reached a stage where we've truly moved on from the belief that if we can create it, we can we can control it, we can perfect it. Today, with the rapid pace of change in technology, I think it's very clear that collaboration with the ecosystem is just a no-brainer. There are many examples that prove this, right, from the past. One that comes to my mind is Nokia. So Nokia was a leader in mobile phones. It was clearly superior in terms of hardware, but it kept its OS proprietary, right? It did not expand its network to its developer ecosystem, and it was closed about all of that. Compare that to Google with Android, really opened up its entire ecosystem of developers. It worked with manufacturers like Samsung and OnePlus, etc., to kind of integrate Android into their phones, which actually is resulted today in 70% of the global smartphones being powered by Android. So it's quite clear. Another example that also comes to my mind is that of Tesla. Tesla got onto the supercharging network very quickly, and legacy car makers are still actually playing catch up. Today, Tesla has more than 45,000 superchargers across the world, and actually now makes revenue of that from rival EVs. And we cannot forget the example of Blockbuster and Netflix, right? Blockbuster, which was a legacy video rental organization, which was really anchored and grounded on just the physical kind of delivery model. Even when they pivoted to the digital model, they really very closed about it and did it themselves. And when Netflix went into this market, they opened up their entire ecosystem, right? They partnered with smart devices, they partnered with ISPs, they partnered with the digital content creators, and so on and so forth. Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy in 2010. Netflix has about 330 million subscribers today. So clearly there's no discussion in terms of should we collaborate or should we not. The writing is on the wall. We definitely should. Based on the recent research that I was actually reading, companies that actually collaborate deeply with partners innovate 2.4 times faster than their peers. So we're really starting off at a point where we truly believe that ecosystem partnerships, especially in the age of AI, are absolutely quintessential, which is the topic that we're going to discuss today. And I have an esteemed set of panelists here. My first question, and actually an opening question and conversation starter almost, is maybe Chris, to you. In terms of why do you think in this age of hyper competition, right? Just in terms of partnerships are a no-brainer, and we have to, kind of collaborate to win.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm going to say a big shout out to Zinnov and just bringing together, all these GCCs together in one room, right? I mean, it's talk about partnerships and building ecosystems. I mean, just rubbing against people out in the lobbies, you're going to obviously rub off a ton of opportunities for your organization and your clients. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm not sure if anyone else in the room is a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm such a fan that recently I got a French Bulldog, and we named the French Bulldog Pippin. So if you guys know Lord of the Rings and know who Pippin was, huge fan. But if you know Lord of the Rings, the uniting of all the dwarfs and the elves and the hobbits was against one evil, right? And the necessary evil of Sauron. And Sauron was a super powerful person. In my industry, in cybersecurity, I mean, we have not just formidable foes, we have nation-state actors and the influence of those nation-states with gangs that we're up against. And if an organization believes for a second that they can go up against a nation-state just simply by spending money and hiring some of the right people, it's a fool's errand. And I'll also put a little plug. If you have a Microsoft system, make sure you patch it immediately. If you haven't, you've probably already seen in your mobile phones, there's already been patch updates to your Outlook, et cetera. Microsoft just released yesterday, or I think last week, 140 vulnerabilities for their leading operating systems and applications. Of that, 14 were critical and 1 was a 0-day. Now, I've been in this industry 25 years. There is no chance, even with Microsoft's weight and power, that they could have found 140 vulnerabilities on their own, right? So the power of the ecosystem for Microsoft is their bug bounty program, right? And I think what Microsoft has done is a great example of many other industries of understanding that it's the strength of we, not the strength of me.
Brilliant. I'm coming to Vasanthi next. Vasanthi, again, a similar question. Why do you think it doesn't make sense to go solo in today's day and age?
Firstly, good afternoon, everyone. I always wondered whether pre-lunch or post-lunch, which has the most engaging audience. I assume the pre-lunch today. So good afternoon to all of you. So it's a good question, right? I actually had a different answer, but I'm going to now take Chris's clue and go with a movie again. I won't say I'm a big fan, but then this is one movie that was actually partnered well with the company I come from, NetApp. It's called The Wild Robo. And it's a story about, based on a novel by Peter Brown, and it's a story about a robo that gets into an ecosystem and builds relationships, and it's adapting, and at the end, it's like a very symbiotic relationship, which is very strong and highly adaptable. I feel today it's the exact same thing in the space that we are. If you really look in the past 12 months, just in the past 12 months, there's been a drastic shift from people thinking Gen AI is a hype to today people building applications, and right, whether it is for content or for context, or whether it is in industries where it's very data intensive. And we also started a lot of optimizations on all of these things, whether we want to do any RAG or whether we are going ahead and saying that we want to bring humans into the loop. So a lot of these optimizations and utilizations are good, but I come from an enterprise background. And if you really see that, it is this ecosystem that needs to support all of these applications and these use cases, that's very important. And you cannot work in silo. I'm just going to touch upon 3 things. Compute. If you look at compute, it's no longer CPUs. It is GPUs. It is TPUs, AI accelerators, which is shifting the way in which the hardware design is going more towards transformer architecture and for matrix transformations and others. The second one is in storage, again, from the land where I come. Storage, again, if you see, before we need terabytes of data for processing and for training these days. How do you actually make sure that you have a high-performing, efficient system? How do you make sure that you use NVMe for storage? A lot of these things are from the storage industry when you really look into it. The third thing is the whole infrastructure design itself. Gone are the days when you had the compute, you had the storage in different parts, right? Now we are thinking about disaggregated architecture, we're thinking about AI native, we're thinking about bringing this to a device itself, handheld device itself. Finally, the most important thing, not 3, 4 right now, as I'm talking, getting more, I guess, no? But the most important thing is sustainability. All of these solutions that we are working with today needs to be greener. What it means is that we need to think about better cooling systems. We need to think about energy efficient chips. There isn't a single industry that can do all of this. Just the whole magnanimity of it, like how many things need to come in. If we have to make this rapid accelerating technology really useful for mankind, is if all these people partner together. That's the only way you build a solution. Right?
Brilliant.
So there is no way we can work in silos.
Absolutely, I think very thoughtful there. Alind and Jay, you're on the 2 sides of the spectrum, right? A services company and an enterprise. From both of your sides, I'd like to understand some examples of where you've perhaps partnered with, say, organizations. It could be OpenAI, it could be Copilot, Microsoft, so on and so forth. But some examples there that our audience would like to listen and understand. Go ahead, Alind.
Sure. Yeah, good afternoon as well. I was looking at the time when we started with 11:57, so I think we are in the perfect twilight zone over here. So look, a company like us, we provide services to a very wide variety of customers, and we engineer very different solutions. So For us, it's very important that the partnerships are based on solving the problems that the customers have. I mean, that's the sole thing that we have, right? Now, it's important that we look at the solutions which are available, and especially in today's day and age where the complexity is so high, there is no point in reinventing things which are already available. The idea is to stitch together solutions which will solve the exact problems that are there. Now, I don't know how many of you have been to Kumbh Mela this time. I should definitely see many, many hands go up. And if you haven't, you've missed a lifetime chance. So if you went to Kumbh Mela, one of the things that we were doing behind the scenes was you would have seen all those video cameras everywhere which were there across Kumbh Mela. And we had built a solution which was actually doing crowd management, the movement of people, the lost and found, and so on, right? Very complex solution. You had to pull in data from so many different areas. You had to bring it all together. You had to analyze it in real time. And we partnered with NVIDIA over there with their hardware and some of the other things that they brought to the table to be able to give what was required in that period of time. And trust me, that kind of a solution is impossible to replicate anywhere else, where the whole population of US goes through in the amount of time that we were there. I mean, that's just one example, right? Now, it doesn't stop there. For us, partnerships and collaborations are for two reasons. One, I talked about solutions, which are there. NVIDIA is one. Of course, we work with the OpenAIs of the world and Microsofts of the world and so on. But the second is the brains. So for us, working with the IITs, working with the institutions, is another area which gives us access. There's no way that we can alone have access to all of those people available. So we are doing solutions today with IIT Chennai, where we are looking at microfluids to help identify problems earlier in the blood or in different analysis that's being done. We work with IIT Hyderabad with putting together some autonomous solutions, which we are seeing now coming up in the industry, and similarly with other institutions as well. So collaboration is a very wide area, and the applications are very broad. I would suggest that look at what's available before we go back and spend our resources trying to rebuild things in there.
Thanks, Alind. Jed, the same question to you in terms of partnerships that you've established.
Yeah, no, thank you. And first of all, thank you, Zinnov, for having me here. And thank you, all of you, for being in mass numbers here as well. Can I just throw in a little bit? Everybody is talking about partnership from the constraints perspective, which is, what I believe AI solves is a simple problem: faster, cheaper, better. Sasta, sundar, tikau. That's the reality of AI, and that's what it's going to do for all of us. And we're all looking at partnership because of fundamentally there is capex availability problem, resource availability problem. How do you convince everybody in the organization that AI is safe, AI is right, AI will cost in, da 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 da. I think there is a strategic imperative for the organizations to partner, and that really we can take it from companies who have really used the market network to create a sustainable advantage and a large value for their organization. I'll take one example and one immediate one. Think about MasterCard. MasterCard's book value is $7.5, whereas their stock price is $550. That's a price to book value of 75. And why is that different? Is because of the network of banks that issue MasterCards. It is because of the point of presence that accepts MasterCard and the partnerships that they have built with a lot of providers. And I think AI, for the first time in the industry, offers that opportunity to enterprises who are continuously chasing top line and bottom line to fundamentally shift. So I think I really want to flip that, and I thought I'll answer that from a flip perspective, that it is important. The great partnership that potentially could evolve is what all of you, I'm sure that 30 to 40% of the population here is an Airtel customer. And yesterday, Airtel announced that they will partner with Perplexity to give Perplexity Pro for free. ARPU of Airtel is 245 rupees. Make it 250, annually 3,000 rupees ARPU, and a 17,000 rupees Perplexity Pro offer. Airtel could have built it, but they're probably leveraging the market economy, and so is Perplexity. Each one has it. So I think I really wanted to bring that out. But absolutely, I agree with you that without partnership, you can't go far. Absolutely not. And this partnership is with all the players, infra, talent, academia, industry. And we at British Telecom have had some good success, working with our ecosystem is definitely working with the cloud providers who provide us as an, AI capability as a service rather than building our own stuff while we do play around with it in our labs. But really working with the ServiceNows of the world, Microsofts of the world, Salesforce of the world as well, and really integrate that. And as I said, where do you see the benefit? What the previous speaker spoke about agents for conversational, they are brilliant. However, they struggle to justify the value for the organization. There is a benefit, but it's not the hard cash against the hard cash that is leaving the organization when you build an AI solution. So we have really seen where supporting the agents to serve our customers better, really leveraging Assist Now to reduce the mean time to repair. And that's a direct correlation, P times Q, the benefit. Or summarization, they're simple stuff, but really summarizing the call and then a quick audit by the agent to kind of say, yeah, this is a summary of the call. So there are lots of such examples where we have seen a significant benefit, and this clearly is driven by the partnership that we have across the ecosystem, be it the infra providers, the talent providers, the product people, and our own people in our business. And I think a lot of time we talk about partnership outside the organization. And I think what I have seen is AI deployment is only successful if you also have partnership within the organization. I think that's a less spoken topic. And I think that's another one I wanted to call out here.
Very relevant, actually.
I wanted just to say one thing, too, because you both touched on it. But, does everyone know what the failure rate of an AI project is today in the enterprise?
99%.
It's 70 to 80%.
Yeah.
Yep. But Chris,
Gartner just released that, right? So, you think about support in the environment first to get, anything below 70% failure rate, and then your ecosystem as well. But it's also like you're going into the project knowing that your odds of success are less than 30%, and all the capital expenditures, et cetera. So if you don't have that partnership in that ecosystem internally, you're already dead. You're dead, individually dead, right? So leaders in this room, you run into this conference and you're running away going yes, AI, let's invest. 30% chance that you're gonna succeed. Right? Are you going to put your name on the line back to getting partnership inside of the organization? Because now we are on the line, not me on the line. So that was a great point.
So now we are collectively dead.
Yes. Now we're all dead.
I think even if you succeed, right, proving to your business that you're getting the right ROI is another big story of the whole thing, right? Because a lot of these models and other stuff, you don't understand what is happening in the logic behind. So the governance and that will kill you further down. So.
Yeah.
that's great. And there's also the detractors with whom you need to partner with.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
non-believers.
Yeah, I think the conversation is going on well. Keep going.
In other words, choose wisely. Choose wisely.
All right. One of the other things that I often wonder is it's the decision on build, buy, and partner, right? What use cases do you go about choosing the build option, the buy option, and the partner option? So Vasanthi, the question to you, in terms of how do you go about thinking about a structured framework to come at this particular decision?
So it's a very easy thing, right? This rule of thumb has been used for quite a long time. You build when you want to own the USP. You have that talent. You know for sure that you have strong background in that area. You have domain experts, and you also have the resources to go ahead and deliver it, right? And the second thing is you are building a solution for somebody, and you want to have a complementary piece of software or something that goes well with it. And there are already a lot of these solutions in the market. So you don't really spend time building it. Your go-to-market becomes really fast to solve the problem if you just buy something, right? These are like general rule of thumbs. They're contradictory part. And the partnering part is when you really want to make sure that you're solving a bigger problem in the market, and you need to collaborate with somebody who has got expertise in the others, but also have an equal stake into it, right? So for example, when you look at NetApp, we have partnered with AWS, and we integrate in their Bedrock. We have also partnered with Google, and we integrate into their Vertex AI so that the data, the storage is very much closer to their AI/ML pipelines. So it's a very simple thing, but I would like to add one more part to this, right? The one place where you need to really partner a lot is with the academia. Right? This is very important because it is not always an outcome-based thing. It is more a contribution thing, something where you as an organization also need to contribute back. And I think partnering with the academia, partnering with startups is a very important thing to be a part of the ecosystem.
Brilliant. Jay, you had something.
Can I be a little bit controversial? I don't think other than anybody building foundational stuff in AI is building it. So if you look at enterprises, I think it's an hybrid. So I think this myth of build versus buy is a myth. Now just looking at some statistics, when we build enterprise application, we built it for a strategic advantage. So if it was my app to the customer, I wanted it to speak my language myself, and we built it. Whereas you wanted a CRM, you looked at the Gartner's Magic Quadrant as a CIO, and just picked one of them that really fits the bill. With AI, you know what? It's all changed. It's not just about talent and everything, time to market, a lot of it. And just look at it. JDK 1.0 came out in 1996. And JDK 20, somewhere in the 2018, so like 22 years to get 20 versions of JDK. And you have so many people who can code in Java, Oracle database, MongoDB, da. But then look at OpenAI. In 4 years, it has matured to a product. And now they are kind of mutating into minis and the nanos and the pros because they have realized that they've got to a stage where they got to now differentiate the product from this. So I think fundamentally, it's a myth. We love to spend time saying build versus buy debate, great academic debate, but fundamentally, AI has to be built together with the ecosystem and the partners.
Brilliant. The other question that keeps popping up is when we are talking about India GCCs leading this entire journey on this change around AI, right? We all need to create business cases, right? So Chris, the question to you as a CEO, if your India team has to come to you with this business case of driving AI from India or this change from India, what should be the critical elements that they should come to you with when they create this business case? Before you answer, I'm just going to, after this question, I'm going to come to you for any questions that you might have. So keep your questions ready. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I think yesterday one of the panelists made a great comment about a company really hard to do business with in India. And his proof point was if they can sell their product and get through the door, that company, he's going to write a check immediately. So for me, coming to my desk or as a board member, first of all, don't come with a shiny PowerPoint presentation and a dream, right? And convince me on the dream. I've seen that. I've been there a million times. I'm going to hit delete immediately. Don't waste my time or your time creating the PowerPoint. So, come with receipts, right? Come with facts, come with data, backup, supporting models. I'm a huge believer of being first, to your point about AI. I think being first to market is vitally important. So I'm a big believer of that. I'm also a big believer in failing fast, right? So if you prove that out to me that, hey, we're willing to lean forward, there is risk here. And then lastly, I think the component that people almost always underestimate every single time and where I always ding them is governance, right? I'm going to write a check to you to go build this ecosystem or build this initiative. How are you going to govern my money? How are you going to govern it? And governance isn't just simply a framework, right? Everyone wants to get generic and create a framework. Governance is like a seatbelt, right? It's a seatbelt. It's don't show me the fireworks that this proposal is going to create. Like, show me how you have a fire extinguisher, show me how you have a safety plan, who's holding the keys, right? I need to see all of that to know now, okay, I believe in the vision, the dream, I see the receipts, I see the data. Now you have a plan to govern that entire process as well. And in that whole, if all that's completed, you're going to get my support and probably my signature as well.
Brilliant. Go ahead.
So I partially agree. Okay, and maybe it's just that you lived long enough in the industry. So I remember, we started our company about 15 years back, and a lot of people gave us a chance to do something different with them, and got us to where we are. When we get these startups coming in, what we do, and we have access to about 300 clients with enough problem statements, we try and give them a real-world problem. And we say that, look, what you have thought about and what you are offering, and towards what you said, this is a real-world problem that you need to solve. And we'll support you to an extent, but you got to figure out a solution to be able to do that. And if you are able to do that, then it makes sense for us to do business together, and then we'll support you and we'll build on you, just like others had given us a chance to do that.
But you're expecting to give them the idea, not them bringing you the idea.
So they have a solution, right? Now it's not robust enough. Yeah. We can see that, right? I mean, startups are like 10 people talking to 2 people for a solution, right? The exposure that they have is normally not that much as we would have, having worked for so long with so many people. So we would really help take the problem that they have solved, give them a real-world connotation on what really needs to happen to be able to do that, go back and let them work on it, because they need to struggle and get there. But give them that advice, give them that support, is how we look at it.
Awesome. Jay has a 30-second message for us.
I think you have asked a wrong question for us. The GCCs should do is don't seek permission, implement it, do it fast. There's so much of vibe coding available, so much you can do, and show a real demo. Then, as you said, PowerPoint and slide. You ask for permission, you will be in a loop. Whereas you'll land on the moon. If you do something, show it, and you'll work fast. Actually.
CEO seems to approve of it. Any questions from the audience for our panelists? There is a question there, if you could have a mic sent across.
Hi, my name is Jagdish Ambati. I work for Schlumberger, rebranded as SLB. It's an oil field services company. We are based out of Pune. So my question to the panel, so there was a success rate or a failure rate for AI implementation in the ecosystem, right? So what are all the common pitfalls that you see the AI initiatives fail in the organization?
I'll take the easiest one for me. And that's just security of the infrastructure, security of the data, security of the access. Another scary stat, just for the audience, is that with agentic AI, it's amazing, as you just heard from Snowflake about the opportunities, but cyber attacks now are 100 times faster now with agentic AI. So I think security as a cornerstone of building. I think you heard about foundational development principles from Snowflake as well. I think one of the things that a great friend of mine, a Fortune 10 CISO, once told me was that CISOs need to be the yes police, right? But you got to consult with the yes police early on in the development process, not at the end of the process. So another reason for failure is that when it goes through the process, the yes police end up saying no. Right? Versus early in the process. So I think just a cheesy, easy one for me, cybersecurity obviously is a major killer to most of those projects.
Yeah, brilliant. I think I'll add a couple of them, right? Most of the times, you need to understand what is your cost of operating versus what is the cost you're going to get from the product itself. Many times we ignore the fact because building AI products does take a lot of your COGS. Right? The second thing is also understanding that you have a continuous feedback loop that is there from the business to what you're doing, because there is high chances that your models and your entire thing starts misbehaving and you don't have a framework to understand what it is. It'll be too late in the time by the time you realize that you have been, you're not been delivering the right solution. And the last thing is constantly updating to the new governance and to the policies that are being brought into in whichever geographical region you're living. So you need to be continuously updating yourself and updating your systems too.
Brilliant. We're out of time, so we can't take any further questions. I'm so sorry, but we will have to, kind of wrap the session. But before I do that, I have a quick rapid fire for you, right? So we'll start with Vasanthi. You, if your ecosystem partnerships were a movie title, what would it be?
Oh, the interoperables. High interoperability in the ecosystem.
Interoperables. Chris, what would that be for you?
I'm also a movie buff, as you already can tell, but I'm a Marvel fan. I'd probably say like Guardians of the Ecosystem. How do we stop cyber threats together? You know, it's not a superhero individual, right? It's a consortium of superheroes. Big Guardians Galaxy fan.
Brilliant. I'll skip Alind and Jay. Your take on that? Movie title?
I don't have anything as fanciful as them. Quite traditional. And I'll go switch to Hindi. Hum saath saath hai.
Whoa.
Well done.
Alind, if collaboration were to be expressed in one emoji, what would that be?
All right, so let me see how many.
With the mic.
I don't know how many of you guessed good. So I would say this. Do you know what this emoji is? It's for respect. If you have to collaborate, you have to respect each other. That's one I would say.
Absolutely. All right. With this, we come to an end of our panel discussion. I hope you found it insightful and enjoyable. And if you want to connect with our speakers, you can do that backstage. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience. Big round of applause, please.